Tell me, how'd you first get into music in general?
In general, like obviously everybody's influenced by their parents, but so the very first band that really caught my eye that I got all obsessed with was Alice Cooper, because yeah, it was a banger. One of my first concerts, and it just really influenced me when I was younger. And then I grew up in a really small town in Alberta, a little hick town, and I met a guy, and he showed me like Choking Victim, and we started. He was in a band already. I was younger than him, and then we got really into like all the punk, like the Virus and Cheap Sex, and started checking out shows and stuff like that. And then I moved away back to Saskatchewan, and he moved to Calgary. And then when I graduated, I moved up to Calgary, and we started playing music together because like we were friends for years. That's Copsicle. I don't know if you that was my first band, and yeah, and then we started playing. Like I think I was 20 at the time, and it was yeah, I never really it was interesting. I always like when I was younger, I was always into black metal, like heart, like Norwegian black metal, the Mayhem, the Burzum. I still love that shit, but it's yeah, that was like, and then when I started hearing like the ska punk, uh, I think I was like probably 20, 22, 23 when I first heard like Ghetto Blaster and My Own Religion and like all that stuff that was on Unknown Records. And I was playing in cop school for like about a year or two, and like that's when I like really got into it. I wasn't really big into ska until I started hearing shit like that, where it was like really dirty punk, like dirty ska riffs, and like that's what really caught me. Yeah.
It gets harder every day, listening to shit you say, and you give your monthly pay to this place that preaches hate to anyone you deem unfit. Join your so-called fellowship. It's so damn sad you can't see it. How you're such a hypocrite.
Copsicle have more than just that 10-song demo?
We did actually. We had the 10-song demo, and then we had one prior, which is not enough punk, or too many cops, not enough punk. And that was the very first Copsicle. And then there was and I think there was 6 songs on that one, and the one was anti Skrillex song. One was yeah, there was a couple anti Walmart songs. It was the very first EP we recorded. It was we were young. It's a little bit choppy. Nardwar, the human serviette from Vancouver, actually started that because he put us on the radio station. We got a little sound clip from him doing the Copsicle thing. It was pretty awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That band dissolved. Did you have any other bands between?
No, I actually, like, it was, yeah, when Copsicle finished, that was about a 7-year run or so, like that. And then I took pretty much for a year a hiatus from ever playing music, because I was just playing bass. I wasn't singing in Copsicle. I was just doing the bass. And then yeah, I didn't play any music. I didn't do anything. Never really expected to play music again until I met my bassist Kyle. I met him at because I moved out to the island here, and I hitchhiked in for work, and then I was gonna sleep outside and then go back to work the next day, and then fucking I met him through a friend, and we went to a show, and found somebody who was also like, yeah, big into the ska punk, like. And it took us about 2 years, because we're both unorganized as hell, to start playing music again. I had to move away and then move back, and then we started a band with we actually the guy who started this band was Liam, and he was the drummer for the first set, and then he got us all together. It was like me, Kyle, and Rylan, and Liam, and then we played one set, and we're like, okay, that went really good, but Liam's not gonna make it, so we can't. So we had to find a drummer. But yeah, the guy who brought us all together, we kind of he's a great dude, but like he just didn't couldn't keep up with us. So then we ended up finding another drummer, Bryce, our very first drummer, and yeah, he's a talented little dude. He was the drummer for the first album And he was good. And then some indifferences happened there. There was some stuff, his personal stuff that happened where cancel culture kind of stuff. He it wasn't the best. So we were getting blacklisted, and we were like, it was a whole in between thing. We tried to help the guy out, and it was just it wasn't working out. And then we found out what happened, and we were like, okay, we gotta. And we weren't getting shows anymore, and he wasn't really being respectful about the whole deal. So it was just like, yeah, no, you gotta go, dude. And then put out the party fucking on broken glass, which is the 3 song. We were just waiting for a drummer. So our guitarist is also a drummer in a couple other bands. So we figured he would throw him on drums, and we would just kill some time. And so we did the Kesha cover, or Kadolera, sorry, I think that's how you pronounce it. Cover, and then the Britney Spears cover, and the Biggie Smalls. And the Britney Spears cover is still my favorite song to play in the band, because that slaps the dope sick instead of toxic. We made it, but yeah. And then so we put that out, and we're him and Han trying to find another drummer, and then we finally find Jesse, which is the drummer for the new album, 4 Finger Discount. And he fits really well. He's a fucking machine. And yeah, and hopefully we don't have to find any more people for the band. That's it, fingers crossed. We also got Jason, our new guitarist. He wasn't in the first 2 albums, but he came to us, and he's a super reputable guy. He's been in a lot of bigger bands like Capital City Stalkers. He's in Stinkhorn with Murray from the Deglows. And he brought a whole nother dynamic, the secondary guitar, and just the amount of talent that guy has brought us up to another level compared to the first album.
Tell me about Hell or Ham Water. I fucking love that first album.
Right. So Hell or Ham Water, yeah, that was the first album that we came out. And so the Ham Water, I think it deserves a description. So the Ham Water describes I was taking care of this old native fellow on the island when I was living off grid, and one day he had a bad heart, and one day I walk up to his vehicle, and he's just sweating fucking profusely and just breathing heavy, like he just ran a marathon. And he's got one of those wrapped hams with the individual wrapped hams, and he's sweating. I walk up there, and it's just the wrapper with all the water in the bottom, and he's like, I just ate a whole fucking ham. And I just fucking laughed my ass off. I thought it was the funniest thing. So I tell Kyle about it. He's like, dude, that should be the album names, because Nate passed away. So it's in tribute to Nate. Well, not the best tribute, but and then we when we first started the band, we also Ryland, we jam at his house. And his past roommates moved out, he had this really, really intense fucking home brew. It was basically ISO. And we started drinking that at jam practices, and that was the Ham Water. So that's Ham Water. And there's a lot of good tracks on there. There's I think some of the best lyrics I've ever written, according to everybody, is Kittens for Mental Health. That is a very interesting thing. And not that a lot of people can understand my words, but when you do look into the dynamics of the lyrics, it's pretty good. And it's really funny because I get to sing a song about drowning cats, and yes, it's a metaphor, and a lot of people, but everybody, when the room goes crazy, I'm like, yeah, you guys just sang about a song, or clapping at a song about drowning cats, and then everybody goes, whoa, ooh, I gotta I like when you bring the whole room down really quickly during the concert. The ups and downs is what you got to do, right? But yeah, and then so it was our first EP. Ryland, our guitarist, actually recorded that. We recorded it in the basement. He did all the editing and everything, and then we just sent it in to Cody, who played in Leper. I don't know if you remember Leper. Yeah, he does our mastering. He's in town here. Did a great job. Ryland did a great job recording. We all did it right off the floor in his shitty little basement. And it was a learning curve, because it sounds good for what it is, but we learned a lot of things for recording the second album, and the next 2 albums, and that's a big thing. Yeah. So no, yeah, and that's right after we recorded that. That's when we unfortunately had to let Bryce go, and Yeah, and that's you can tell the different drumming style for sure between the second, like, well, all three albums have different drummers, but yeah.
Whose idea was it to record those covers? I mean, yes, they were fun covers.
I think we all kind of picked well, like we wanted to do a Biggie Smalls cover because like that's just like, yeah, because we love Biggie Smalls. So we figured, well, maybe we'll just do like one album, one cover, and then one day I was sitting around and I was fucking with the lyrics for the Kesha song, and I looked at Rylan and I was like, "Yo, check out the, like, what do you think about this?" He's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, we should definitely do that." So then and then the kind of melody came in, and it was super easy to do. So it's like, "Hey, if we're gonna do 2 songs, let's just do a 3-song little split." So we posted up on Facebook, like, "Who we need a cover, we need some stupid pop cover. What should we do?" And somebody said like do Toxic by Britney Spears, and like it was like, okay. So he kind of like, then yeah, Rylan went back there and they did like the little harmony on the guitar, like and he's like, okay, yeah, no, this is gonna work out really fucking good. And then yeah, so we kind of tweaked that a little bit more, and then yeah, and that album went together in like a couple weeks. Like it was quick, easy, fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
First time I swung. Don't you remember when I told you not to fuck with me the second time? Felt better than the first time. Holy shit, this is really happening. Don't think for a sec that I don't fucking mean what I fucking say. Now you're looking at the wrong function of the bed. That's causing you.
And your fucking new album, 4 Finger Discount. I fucking love that shit. I love that shit.
4 Finger Discount. Yeah.
So that album cover is real.
That album cover is absolutely real. I cut my finger off. Well, my girlfriend cut my finger off. I asked like because there was a pinky promise situation where it was like, well, like so it was like I figured since it's already gone, might as well use it for the album cover because like you make something out of it because like it was a personal thing between us, but then like, well, fuck, my finger's gone. It's a pretty sweet album cover, so you might as well, you know what I mean, like might as well use it for the album cover. And like, yeah, I made it into a necklace for her. So fun fact for that and like I posted the video on Facebook. I still have it up on my Instagram. I got taken down on Facebook really fucking quick, but like it was pretty fucking funny. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's not real, that's not real, that's not real." And then I go to the shows and everybody's like, can I see the finger? Can I see the finger? I'm like, yeah. So like, yeah, so I went and zip tied it off, and I just used one of those old cigar cutters, like an old antique one, and I just fucking, yeah, one day I just cut the finger off because yeah. But when it comes down to the actual album, because I'm a fucking weirdo. But when it comes down to the actual album, like Jason and Jesse brought such a crazy new dynamic. Like it's so much more crisp, and it's heavier. It's got like a more of a metal aspect from those guys. And just having that really brought everything together really good. And then we got to do we did a cover of Copsicle, like my first band, Smoke Meth Kill Cops, because that's just a fucking banger. And I don't want to let that die because yeah, everybody loves that. And then we did also a cover of Mung. We got on a tribute album to Mung, which is I don't know if you know them. They're a Winnipeg-based band. Great guys. My buddy Cam from Kelowna, he was putting together a tribute album, and I didn't know Mung that well, but as soon as he started showing it to me, I'm like, yeah, these guys fucking slap. And then he's like, oh, can you put it on the tribute album? I was like, absolutely. And he's still working on that. I think Murray from Deglow, there's Savage Henry, there's a bunch of really legitimate cool bands doing songs for that. So that's rad. There's like for the new album, there's I think we're trying to up our game, like especially like for me personally, like lyrically, I'm trying to up my game, and I like to shock, I like to appall, I like to push that boundary, whether it be in my shows, because like when my shows, I'm like tasering myself, I'm stapling myself, I'm like getting people to break pool cues over me, I'm rolling on broken glass and tacks, like just like kind of like, you don't see that shit very much. It's kind of fun, and like I don't know, I like it. Some of the people at at the bars aren't the biggest fan for it. I've had a couple of people pissed off for the whole thumbtacks everywhere. But it is what it is. And like fucking, one time I was, we got, I don't think we're banned from this bar, but they definitely did not ask us to come back yet. We were playing a show, and I found this dead dog on the side of the road, this big random dog. So I was like, oh fuck. So I was driving into town. I threw it in my Thule, and then we get to Ryland's house, and I haven't seen him in like a month or two. And then I like roll up, like, Ryland, how's it going, buddy? He's like, hey, bro. I was like, mind if I skin this dog in your back? He's like, I'd really rather you didn't do it. I'm like, yeah, I'll be in the back skinning the dog. So I go and I skin out this dog. Like, it's all like fucking, it's still meaty and fleshy. It's not fleshed or anything. And then he's like, okay, we got the show to do. I was like, okay. So like, I got this like in one of those little white garbage bags. I like fucking have this bleeding like pelt of a dog. And we go to the show. We're playing this bar. And I was like, Ryland, guess what? I'm gonna wear the dog tonight. He's like, no, dude. Don't wear the dog. Like, don't. No, I'm like, no, it's a good idea. Like, I think people will really like it. And if it goes over well, you owe me a beer. He's like, Odie, come on. I was like, fine, whatever. So we're like loading in, and they're doing gear haul, and I come out like with this fucking bag over my shoulder. It's just like dripping blood still, like plop it down in the middle of the, and Ryland's just like looking at me in his face. He's just like, fuck you, dude. So I was like, I'm gonna wear it. Save it for the last song. Just do this for me. I was like, okay. So last song comes up, and there's video of this on the internet, and like I was like, okay, I found this dead dog, and I wanted to share it with you because I like super excited about it, and like throw it over my shoulders, and this is big dog, and everybody's like, oh, and then my drummer's like, it's not real, and you can just reek because it's like, yeah, it's roadkill, it just reeks like, and it's just bloody everywhere, and everybody's like, yeah, that's fucking real. So yeah, so if I wear this, and it was really cool. It was refreshing. It was nice. Like I really enjoyed the pelt. I wish I would have worn it all set, but like whatever, you got to respect the bandmates and whatnot. So fucking yeah. So we go and we do the set, and then half the room like clears out instantly. They were just like, no, fuck this, like gone. And then there's like so we play the set. Our last song, the last song was Corpse Dust, which is like one of my favorite songs about the Wendigo. Fucking so yeah, we play the song, we finish it up, and I like walk up to Ryland, and it's just like, you owe me a beer, dude. He's like, that did not go over well, dude. And I was like, I thought you didn't think that was good. And he's like, not at all. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe okay. I still think it went over pretty well in my books, but yeah, fuck. But yeah, so when it comes down to like, yeah, I digress, but like, so it comes down to lyrical content. I was really trying to upsell, like, I don't know, there's a certain amount of ridiculousness and like vulgarity that you can get away with, but you still want it to be half decent. Like, you just don't want it to be all shock and shittiness. Like, you still want the, like, you don't want to take away from because those guys are amazing musicians. So like the guitaring, the drums, the bass, some of the bass lines on there, like especially in Methamphetamines, that last bass line that Kyle does, just like it just shreds. And I don't want to take away and just like make it a fucking joke about it. So it's like you want to make what funny Methamphetamine. I just went and Googled how to make meth. And that's exactly what that song's about. It's just like the step-by-step and ingredients of how to make meth. And it was just, it's like really easy, but like it's yeah, you can't. I just don't want to be a stupid shock band, but like because they're better than that. All those guys are better musicians than just to be in something that just like cheesy and shitty, right? Yeah. Baby, flashes to the peel. Then you push on his rib till he starts to squeal. Cutting up his meat, scraping up his bones. A small slit in his head, scraping at his dope. Flashes to the baby, flashes to the peel. Then you push on his rib till he starts to squeal. Scraping up his meat, cutting up his bones. A small slit in his head, scraping his dope. Dirtnap was a band originally from Victoria, apparently. We didn't know that. None of us were really from Victoria. So there was that old, like, they were on Shaw Cable. They're like, yo, we were on Shaw Cable. Like, and like at the time, Bryce was like 23. We're like, dude, our bassist or drummer doesn't even know what the fuck Shaw Cable is. They're like, yeah. So like we went and posted on the internet, like, hey, I've started this new band. We call it Dirtnap, which is like, there's 100 fucking Dirtnaps out there. There's rappers called Dirtnap. There's, there's aero fucking companies called Dirtnap. So we're like, yeah, we call this band Dirtnap, and we just want to know if we could, if anybody wants to put some shows on for us. And all of a sudden, this message board blew the fuck up. It was like 460 messages of people like, yo, you gotta change your name. Yo, you kids have no respect. Hey, I think that's okay. You know, it's all these different opinions from all these people, and I'm sitting there that's on the other side of the keyboard. Now I'm a lippy little fucker. Like, you know, it's like I like to poke people. So like there's the Dirtnap guys like messaging. They're like, yeah, you got to change your name. And I was like, oh, you know, like I was gonna call it, you know, the band, the Deglow Abortions, but we actually heard of those guys. Like just sitting there chirping off and like made one of those Highlander memes, like there can only be one. So yeah, but like that, even just for the beginning of the band, that sparked up a lot of people to at least check us out, because like, you know, it was controversial. A lot of people like, these kids have no fucking respect. And then we kind of posted a couple of videos of us playing, and they're like, oh, they're actually pretty good. You know, they're like, we're not kids, we're not, you know, but it's so, and we like, I guess time to time, my drummer always seems to be the one that runs into this guy. He's the original lead singer of Dirtnap, and he fucking hates us. And like he's like some kind of like homeless dude, like he's like in between, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna sue you. We're like, buddy, you walk around with a top hat right by like downtown. I'm like, I don't think you have money for a lawyer, but like, you know, we tried to be nice. Like Jesse's like, hey, you know, like you guys should come out to a show, and he's like, fuck no, just like straight, just like no day. So it's like, oh well, shit, okay, well, you know, at least we try. Now he's here. We're like, yeah, Dirtnap, fuck you kids. But yeah, it's yeah, I had no fucking idea until, and then like once this started getting snowballing into like you couldn't, we got so much press out of the goddamn thing that we couldn't change our band name at that point. Like, you know, it's like it was so easy. Yeah.
Plus, that's not unprecedented. There's many bands that have the same name.
Well, absolutely. And like
I used to live with a band in Springfield, Missouri called the Reach Arounds. Right?
The Reach Arounds. That's a good name. Yeah, I like
that's
that.
a great name. But when they went to go plug it into I think it was MySpace at the time. When they went to go plug it into MySpace, there was like 3-4 other bands called the Reach Arounds, and they're like, fuck them other bands.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And like,
right? And
yeah, like,
I mean, there was the Canadian Subhumans, and then there was the UK Subhumans.
That was my first point to the guy too, because that's like the most legitimate thing. And they're both great bands. They both done well for what it is. I'm like, you know, and like maybe they're not from the same city. Maybe that was a little bit like off the palate, but like yeah, we had no fucking idea. And like we figured these guys are like, you know, they're all in their 50s or so. I'm like, oh, maybe they'll think it's sweet, because like, you know, like, yeah, no, they're Dirtnap, and they're like, no, they were not. They don't think it's sweet at all. And if they ever happen to see this interview, we're kind of sorry, but like, come on, guys, like, you know, just like share it. Like, goddamn.
Well, shit. I hope they do see it now.
Right? Yeah. We got to put it on Shaw Cable, maybe. Like, yeah, we're like, we're on Shaw Cable. We're like, okay, like, yeah, shit. Yeah.
That's fucking funny. That's funny.